The truth is, if I'm really honest with you, I kind of believe that God is like that girlfriend, right, who is way out of my league. And if I step on eggshells, if I do something wrong, he's going to drop me like it's hot. He's going to drop me like it's no tomorrow. He's going to drop me for somebody who's so much better looking, who doesn't sin quite as much as I do. I'm going to be that guy who ultimately just tries to live a good life so that God can kind of take care of me. And look, the summation of my Christian life is not based on fear that somehow God is going to drop me one day. But the way that I live my life, the things that I do, stems out of the love that I have for the grace that I've been given. If this morning you're sitting in here and you're trying to receive God's grace by doing enough things. Man, I met a woman in our church and she's convinced every week, no matter what I tell her, that if she puts money in the offering, she and God are good. It's her opportunity to pay God back, right? And so she's like, I don't make a lot of money, but, as long as I put some money in there, it's, I'm good. God and I, we're good. I paid him off. I've got people in the church and they've come to me and I'm telling you, just wild ideas about trying to earn their way. And I'm telling you this morning that there's nothing that you can do to earn your way. You have a greater responsibility and probably a more difficult responsibility if you're honest. And that is to simply trust him. Yeah. Do you know why we like the idea of earning our way back? Because we get to keep control. We get to keep control of what our relationship with God looks like. But to actually trust him means that we don't get to be the control freaks that we want to be. We don't get to hold the remote. For men, that drives us crazy, right? We don't get to hold control of things. We have to learn to trust him. Now, trusting in God and thinking about grace, there are two different types of trust in God. To look at my past and to look at the grace that God's given me for the past is one type of trust. It's a type of trust that takes you from a place of being unforgiven to being forgiven. It's a place of trust that says, God, I actually trust not only in your existence, but I trust that you love me, I trust that you care about me, and I trust that as far as the east is from the west, you've forgiven me. I give you my life. That's one type of trust. And many of us, we stop there. But another type of trust, another type of faith, the faith of the Christian life says, I trust in your future grace. I trust in your plans. I trust in your purposes. I trust in everything that you want for my life. And I am not allowing myself to compromise for the shortcuts of life, to forfeit the gift of grace that you would want to give to me. How does that play itself out? What does that look like? Well, let's pick one that everybody's probably gone through. Lust, sex outside of marriage, this idea that I could take the shortcut, or I could actually trust God that as part of his future grace, there is a spouse that is his plan and is his purpose for me. How does future grace play out in the business world? Well, I could do the deal myself. Yeah, it's not ethical, but I could do it in a way that produces the right amount of money to pay my bills this month. Or I could hold on and trust that by doing things the right way, that is part of God's future grace for my life, his protection and his provision over my life, that I'm going to do things the way that he desires for me to do them. When you take shortcuts, you forfeit the gifts of God. I remember at Christmas time, my parents had, every Christmas, they would wrap the presents, they would store them in the closet, and my sister and I would go looking for them. And it would always get to be about December 18th, 19th, 20th, and we got very good at unwrapping and rewrapping the presents. 5, 6, 7 years in a row. And of course, when you're 9, it's really difficult to hide the emotion of surprise. We did our best. But I got to be honest with you. We forfeited so much of the gift by trying to take the shortcut.